Hello everyone, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm here to solve a Sudoku created by Astralsky. It is called A Trip to Advanced Classics, and you can say it's a fog covered variant. The rules are pencil mark Sudoku rules apply. Apart from that, partial fog, not all digits will eliminate its surroundings when entered correctly. So basically this fog kind of variant has taken the CTC by storm. In the Discord server you will see many such variants. So the moment you enter a correct digit, for example, if you let's say enter a correct digit in this partial fog covered cell, then some of the cells around it will get uncovered. Of course you can keep on guessing, you can write 1 2 3 4 and then get the surrounding digits also, but that's not the objective. You have to find the digit in the fog covered cell logically. So the rules are simple. It's pencil mark Sudokus. So if you see a pencil mark inside a cell, the final digit in that cell must be one among the candidates which are already given in the cell. So let's say you take this cell, row 2, column 1, you have 4 and 5 already inside. So the final digit inside this cell will be either a 4 or a 5. And like I said, if you find a digit, then some of the fog cells will be uncovered. So these are the rules. And I already solved the Sudoku. It is an excellent one. So you can learn many techniques by watching this video. So hope you find this video enjoyable. So I'll start the Sudoku now. The first thing I saw in the Sudoku is, look at these 4 cells. You already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside. If you get one more cell which has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you can say it is a pentaple. 5 possible digits and 5 possible cells. So my attention was drawn to this cell. So I thought, can this cell take a 1, 4 or a 5? That is, I'm assuming that this cell can't take 8 or a 9. Oops, sorry. I meant this cell. Let's say you don't have 8 and 9 inside. So now you have a pentaple inside these 5 cells. So which basically means that 2 and 3 must go inside these 3 cells, right? But that immediately eliminates both the possibilities of 2 and 3 from here. So this clearly proves to us that you can't have 1, 4, 5 here. You must have an 8 and a 9 here. Beautiful logic, right? I was really impressed seeing this logic. So this is the first step I saw in the Sudoku. The next you have to see is, look at these 4 cells. So you already have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 inside them. And if you find one more cell which has either 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 in any of these 5 cells, you will have a pentaple again. But the way to look at this is, look at these 4 cells. So in this row, in row 2, let me think here. Yeah, right. So in these 4 cells, we'll need 3 of 6, 7, 8 and 9, right? You have 1, 8 and 9 here. So which means 3 of these cells will be covered by 6, 7, 8 and 9. So I was taking my mind to think how to explain that. So these 4 cells don't take a 6, 7, 8, 9. So out of these 4 cells, 3 of the cells must take 6, 7, 8 and 9, because 6, 7, 8 and 9 will need 4 cells and you already have 8 and 9 here. So one of those cells is already taken, which means out of these 4 cells, you will have 2 cells which take 6, 7, 8 and 9. Now can those 2 cells be these 2? So if you put 6, 7, 8, 9 here, now all these 6 cells have only 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in them. So there are 6 cells but only 5 possible digits. So this can never happen. So which means that we can conclude that 2 of these cells will be 6, 7, 8 and 9 and one of these cells will be a 6, 7, 8 and 9. Beautiful, right? So now we know 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 must be hidden inside these 6 cells. One of these cells is 6, 7, 8 and 9 and one of these cells is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which we do not know which one is which. So but we know that out of these 6 cells, 5 digits 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are enclosed. So which means that these must be 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. So what it does is that this is combining with all these 4. This is combining together and giving us a quadruple, right? You have 2, 3 here, and you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. So which means I must have a 1 and 4 here, right? And the rest of the cells in that row become 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, so the rest of the cells will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now look at these 5 cells. They have exactly 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which means they are forming a pentaple. Beautiful, right? This is such a beautiful Sudoku, guys. So which means this cell cannot take a 5. So that is a 4. So we get our first digit, and you can see that the fog has been removed from some of the cells, right? Which wasn't the case earlier. These cells were covered by fog. The moment you write the correct digit inside, so for example, if you put a 5 here, none of the cells are uncovered, but 4 is the correct cell. So some of the cells are uncovered. And these 3 cells now become 1, 2, 3. And which means this cannot be a 1, 2, and 3, right? Because you have a 1, 2, 3 here. Okay, and 4 is removed from all these cells. This is 1, 2, 3, and 5. And we also know that 1 and 5 must be here because this is forming a quadruple. So 1 and 5 must go here. And which means these 2 cells cannot take a 5. And 5 must go in these 3 cells. This is beautiful. So let's make use of this 4. You don't have a 4 here. This is 5, 9. You don't have a 4 here. This is 7, 9. Wow. That has given us a pair here and a pair here, which basically is an X-wing. So 9 is in one of these 2 cells in row 6, and 9 is in one of these 2 cells in row 9, right? So which means that the rest of the cells in that column cannot take a 9, because you know any 2 columns can take only 2 9s, and those 2 9s are already situated in these 2 rows, right? So if you have a 9 here, then in row 9 you must have a 9 here, and if you have a 9 here, then you must have a 9 here. So one of these 2 cells is a 9, and one of these 2 cells is a 9. So which means the rest of the cells is not a 9 in that row, and that gives an 8 here. Beautiful. So that uncovers more fog covered cells, and these are not 8. This is 5, 6, 7, and 9. And these are not 8, 6, 7, 9. So now you have a quadruple again, 5, 6, 7, and 9, which means these 2 cells are 4 and 8 for the row. And you don't have 8 here. Beautiful. So this 8 removes the 8 here. This is a 3 and a 5. All right. And you don't have a 9 here as well. 5, 6, and 7. You can't have 9 here. The reason is these 3 cells form an Xpiping. So an Xpiping is nothing but you identify 3 cells across 2 or even 3 boxes. So in this case, box 6 and box 9 are the boxes in play here. So you identify 3 cells, and all those 3 cells will take some combination of 3 digits. One will be of AB. You can say A as 3, B as 9. Another is BC. B is A is 3 and C is 5, and this is BC, right? B is 5 and messing it up here. This is, let's say A is 3, B is 9. So this will be AC. A is 3, C is 5, and this will be BC, right? C is 5 and B is 9. So one of those cells will be the hinge cell, which is seeing the other 2 cells, and these other 2 cells are the wing cells. So when you have that way, the cells which are seeing both of these 2 cells, the wing cells, cannot take the digit common between these 2. So 9 cannot be here, and 9 cannot be in any of these cells, right? Because the cells in the blue tiles see both this one and this one, so they can't take a 9. The moment you have a 9 in any of these cells, let's say you have a 9 here, this will become 3 and this will become 5, and this can't take any value. which is really cool logic. So 9 cannot be here, so that's a 7, and that uncovers a single fog covered cell, which is nice, and which means this is a 9, this is a 5, and that uncovers lots of cells. Beautiful. And this is a 9, right, which gives us even more cells. So we got a lot of cells here. Okay, so let's take a moment to catch our breath here. 5 9, so this is not a 5 9. Excellent. Okay, the next step is a little bit complicated. You know that we have got some information from these cells, and that is because we have got some new green cells here, right? So the reason the cells are marked green is just because of construction reasons. That's because we write digits in all the cells. So in order to differentiate between cells which are already given and which the solver enters, that's why basically these are given in green, right? So can this cell take a 3? So that's the next question, vital question you need to ask, right? It's basically centered around these pencil marks. So if you have a 3 here, look what happens. It gives rise to a nice chain logic. You have a 4 here, you have a 6 here, you have a 7 here, and a 2 here. Now this cell can't be a 3, can't be a 2, right? It's just thinking ahead for a few steps. It's not much difficult, especially knowing that those are the information, that is the information you have obtained by uncovering from these cells. So you basically need to focus on these cells. So this can't be a 3. So that is a 9. And that has uncovered one more cell. 9, 9, this is not 9. So in row 3, 9 goes here. And that has uncovered even more cells. All right. So now look at these 5 cells. They are forming a pentable again, which means 5 cells and 5 possible digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. And that is really gorgeous, guys. Simply gorgeous. So which means that the remaining digits in that box must take 5, 7, and 8. And if you look at these cells closely again and ask yourself, where does the 4 go? 4 must be here. And which means this is a 6. And that has uncovered one more cell. So that 6 gives a 7 here, which gives a 2 here, which gives a 1 here, and that 2 gives a 3 here. That gives a 4 here. So let me remove the 4 from here. All right, so this is not a 3, 4 anymore, or a 1 or a 6. So this has to be a 2. And 2, 3 you have here, so that is a 6. And 2 is here, so this is a 1. All right, so 6, 7, that gives a 9 here. So which means this is not a 9, 6 and 7. And these are all not 9s. And 6 and 7 also not possible. 5, 8. All right, 1. So this is not 1. This is 2. This is not 2. 6 here. So this is not 6. 3, 4. So this is not 3, 4. That's 1 and 2. 2 is here. So this is not 2. 1, 3, 4. 7 here. So that's a 5. And that is a 6, 7. And that 5 gives me a 3 here. So this is not a 3. Yeah, you have 3 here, so that's not a 3, and which means this is 1, 4. So you have 4 here, so which means these will be 1, 5, and 6. You've got a lot of progress now. So a 6 is here, so this is not a 6, that's a 7 and 8. Now if you look closely, where does the 7 or 8, or rather whatever comes in this cell, where does it go in box 4? There is only one cell. It has to be here. It cannot be in any of these cells. It cannot be here. So whichever comes here has to go here. And now by Sudoku, so let's call this, shade this cell. For example, let's shade this blue. So the blue cell is going here. So which means in box 6, the blue cell is going here, right? just by normal Sudoku rules. Right, 7, 8. So that is not a 5, that's a 7, 8. And that 1 removes the 1 here, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 goes in one of these two cells in box 4. Oh, what am I missing here? 5 is here. That's not a 5, that's 7, 8, which means 5 has to be here in box 4. So here I got stuck for a while, and that's because, watch closely, the moment you write 5 here, this fog covered cell has uncovered. But what we had done is, prior to writing the 5 here, we had already deduced that this is going to be 7 or 8, right? We have already written 7 or 8 here. The moment we write 5 here, this is giving us some information. Let's remove the 7 and 8 and see. How do I remove it? Yeah, you can see that this can take only 5 or 8. Because I had written 7 or 8 here, it took me quite a while to realize that this cell has to be 8 because 7 cannot be going there. Right? So which means that this has to be not 7, it has to be 8. This is 7, and that uncovers a lot more fog. So that is 8, and even more fog covered cells are uncovered. This 8 gives me 8 here. So that will probably uncover this, and that resolves this 8-4 pair. 8 goes here and 4 goes here. So these are fun Sudokus to solve. Of course, they can't be put in a competition. Reason being that, there will be nobody to uncover the fog. So these can be put in software-based solvers, right, but not in contests. What next? 2 in row 4 has to be in one of these two cells. All right. And these 3 cells are now 1, 4, and 6. This cannot be a 4. It's 1 and 6. So let me just quickly take a look at the time. Yeah, 17 minutes. 5 is here, so that's not 5. That's 1, 4, 6. That's actually 1 and 6. You have a 5, 6 pair here, right? So 3, 9, 5, 6, and 7. So I'll need 1, 2, 4, and 8. Let's write the pencil marks. 2, 8, 1, 2, 4, 1 and 2, 1, 2, 4. Okay, so where does the 8 go in this row? Has only one cell. So that's 8. But sadly, that has not uncovered any fog. So that's not an 8, 6, and 7. I think you should reduce the digit in a fog-shaped cell to uncover the fog around it. I'm not wrong. So I've not solved much of these Sudokus, maybe 1 or 2 in the past, especially when they were covered as videos on the channel. So after that, I have not solved any of these fog-covered Sudokus, so I don't have much idea. So if you look at this column, 1, 4, 5, 8, 9, so we'll need 2, 3, 6, and 7. 2 and 6 gives me a 3, 7 here. This will be a 2, 3, and 6. Okay. Eight goes in one of these two cells in column 4. Ah, 8 in column 8 has only one option, goes here. That gives me 8 here. But this sad cell is not uncovering any of the other cells. Okay. And 2 in box 9 has to be here. Can't be in any of these cells. So that 2 removes the 2 here. This is 3 or 4. Wow, this is where the next technique. So if you remember correctly, we found an X-wing in these cells, right? And then we proceeded to find a Y-wing between these cells. That was a 3, 5, 1, 9. So that was a Y-wing or an XY wing. So 2 techniques. Now comes the third one. Beautiful one. So let me highlight these cells, yellow, and look at these cells. Let me highlight them yellow as well. 6 in row 3 goes into one of these 2 cells. And 6 in row 7 goes into one of these 2 cells. So which means that at least one of these cells is a 6, because if you consider the opposite of that, the 6s in row 4 and row 7 will both be forced here, and we can't have that happen. So one of these cells will definitely be a 6. Even both can be 6. There is no problem with that. But the fact is that you can't have a situation where both of them are not 6. So if this is a 5, this is a 7, then the 6 in row 4 goes here and 6 in row 7 goes here. So that can't happen. So one of those cells is definitely a 6. So which means cells which prevent both of those cells from taking a 6 cannot be a 6, right? This is called a skyscraper logic, which means this cell and this cell can't take a 6 because they are seeing both of those yellow cells, right? Even this cell actually is seeing the yellow cell, but thing is that it doesn't have any effect. And so are these 2 cells. So this can't be 6. If you have a 6 here, 6 is removed from both of these. We can't let that happen. So that is a 1 now, which means this is 4. That gives 1. That gives 2. That gives 3, 4. And 3 is removed from here. That's a 1, 2, 5. All right. So you have 6, 7, 9 triplet here. So this is not 6 or 7. Let's remove these stray pencil marks. Okay, right. If you look at this box, you need 3, 6, and 7. 3 goes here. And that will be 6 or 7. So we are making some good progress here. 1, 8, 9, 3, 4, 7. So you will have 2, 5, and 6 here. Now look at this box, box 8. Where does the 4 go? 4 has only 2 options, either this cell or this cell. It can't be here and it cannot be here. So that removes 4 from here and gives a 4 here. And that uncovers more cell. And luckily, this time I noticed instantly, this green cell, if you remove the pencil marks, it has only 2 as its option. So you can straight away put a 2 here, no problem. So that is a 1. And that resolves this 1, 6, and 1, 1 gives a 1 here, and 2 gives a, okay, these will be 2, 5. So that can be resolved. So that's a 2 and that's a 5. And that 5 gives me a 3 here. That's a 3. So all these cells are uncovered from the fog. And 3 is not here. That's 2, 6. And 1 and 2 give a 4 here. So let's, reset back these to the original color. Remove the yellows from here. 6 is here, so that is a 7 or a 9. And 8 gives me 8 and a 5. And that puts 5 in column 2. Let me quickly go through the Sudoku now. Okay, 4 in column 5 goes here. And 2 here gives me a 2 here. And 6 is not here, so 6 goes here. And that puts a 7 here. 6 here. 7 here. 6 here. 7 here. 3, 2, 6. So this will be a 1, 3 pair. So 1, 4, 6, 2, and 8. I need 3, 5, 7, and 9. So 3 is not here, so which means 3 goes here. And that gives me a 9 now. These will be 4, 7. And that is instantly resolved. That's a 4, that's a 7. This is a 9. And you need 3, 5, 7 here. So you have 3, 5. So that's a 7. And that's not a 3. Not a 7, that's a 5. That is a 3 now, and that 5 resolves this 6, 5, 2, 6. So 6 is already in row 8. So this is 6. That's a 2. Let's finish off this box. I need 5, 7, and 9, right? You can't have 7, 9 here. So that is a 5. And so this will be 7, 9 pair, which means 7 goes here, 9 goes here. This is a 9. That is a 6. And you need 1, 5 here. So 5 is already here. This is a 5. This is a 1, 1, 3, and 3, 2. And with that, we have completed this wonderful Sudoku by Astralsky. What a fun Sudoku, guys. And it has been aptly titled A Trip to Advanced Classics. So you saw an Xpiping here, you saw a Y-wing here, you saw a skyscraper logic here, and not to forget the important chain that we deduced. Remember that we saw that this cannot be a 3, right? That gave rise to a sequence of digits which hit upon this cell. So beautiful Sudoku. Hope you enjoyed watching. We'll see you soon with the video. Meanwhile, do remember to subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.